Afternoon, I hope you are doing well. My name is Joyce. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here, and if you have not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It only takes a minute for you, but it means the world to me. So if you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. Now, as I said, my name is Joyce and welcome to my channel. And today I thought I would address some of the questions that I've had over time, and a couple on YouTube actually. So please do ask, and I'd really love to hear what your thoughts are around some of these answers that I'm going to give. Rather, questions are going to be posited and answers that I'm going to give. I'd really love to hear what your thoughts are, and I would definitely learn a thing or two from it. So please do ask and do mention and do contribute. So welcome to Joyce London. This is a channel where we work on personal development, where I share my knowledge, my skill and my experience, and in return I get your invaluable feedback, and hopefully you learn a thing or two. And so these questions have come through to me, as I said, and I hope I'll be able to get through most of them at least, so that this video is not that long. But yeah, so the first question is, how do you change your life if it's a mess? So I guess that means, how do you start changing your life? Because I think your life cannot completely be a mess. If it is, you're not looking in the right place, because there's always something you can learn about your life. And your life, the fact that you are asking that question means that there's a lot of hope. Anyway, how do you change your life if it's a mess? I would say the old adage around how do you eat I can't get my words right. How do you eat an elephant? And the answer is one bite at a time, one chunk at a time. So the elephant is huge, of course, and it's going to take you days, if not years, to finish. But you're going to start somewhere, and that's how you do it with your life. Don't look at it from a perspective of how huge and how massive the changes have to be, or how messy your life is. Just think, what can I do today to actually change my life? What's one thing I can do? And I think for me, it started off with actually getting a job, a part-time job, because I was unemployed for a while and I was in a total mess, and I didn't know what to do or where to start. So this is going back about 14 years, and it was hard. Everything that could have gone wrong in my life was going wrong. I was losing my house. My relationship was kaput. I wasn't working because I'd taken the time out to look after my children at the time. So by the time shit hit the fan, as it were, I was in a place, or rather on the road to nowhere. So the first thing I had to do is get a job, and get a part-time job, because I couldn't get a full-time job because of my relationships. And well, when I say relationships, I meant around my kids. They were quite young, so I couldn't really have a job that would mean me having to get childcare, because as you know, in England, childcare here is astronomical. You might as well just sit at home and look after your kids and work part-time, rather than pay 1,800, 1,500, 1,800 for childcare, where your salary pretty much goes to that. So yeah, one step at a time, one task at a time, and eventually you will take that sucker down. The next question is, what's the one habit you would say had the most impact on your life? And I think presumably it means in terms of improving your life. I don't know if there's just one thing. I probably should have thought about this before I started video recording. But I think the one thing I would say that has had the most impact, because it's impacted a lot of areas of my life, within my life as it were, would be my morning walks. And I say morning walks because 86% of the time I walk in the morning. There is the other, 14%, probably a little bit more than that, when I don't always make the morning cut. And so I'll walk in the evening and review my day that way, rather than actually start off my day thinking about what is it going to bring, how grateful am I, what am I going to learn, set myself up that way. And I do prefer walking in the morning. But I think, again, this is not set in stone. It's based on your personality. Morning walks works for some people. Evening walks work for some people. For me, both of them work. I find it more beneficial to walk in the morning. It's more refreshing. It's good for my mental health. And I feel like when I walk in the morning, I'm a lot more productive. Probably it's more of a mental game, I think, because even when I have walked in the evening, I'm equally as productive. But I just don't feel like I've breathed in that, air, as it were, that kind of attacks my brain or supports my brain. And I don't know, I just feel rejuvenated and revitalized in the mornings. But I would say walking in the morning for me has been absolutely incredible. Now, I do live in a space where I can do that, so make sure that it is safe when you do walk. To me, when it's sunlight, I kind of don't like it, because it's almost like I don't know whether it's a self-conscious thing, but I just find there's something in the dawn that really helps you when it's not quite bright, but it's light enough for you to see where you're going. So yeah, that's the one thing I would say. But I would also encourage you to try and find what works for you. Don't do what you hear other people doing. Of course, trial it. That's the whole point of getting advice from other people and kind of hearing and looking at what other people are doing, but do your own thing. The other question is, how do you deal with friendships that break up, or people that walk away from your life? Let them walk. Let them walk. And I think for me, that's been the most incredible lesson I've had to learn. That other people walking away is not about me, and it's more about them. And I say that to say that, yeah, you might have done something. I may have done something to kind of make them walk. But ultimately, you have to understand your own value and know what you bring to the table, and that you are valuable, and that whatever decision people are making at the time is based on the information they have. And it's not 100% on you. And I say that because I used to be so discouraged. I used to always think it's about me. Why are they leaving me? Why do they all leave me? But when I actually started to see the value that I have, you can't help it if somebody else is short-sighted enough not to see what you bring to the table. And you cannot force people to stay. I know that. I force people to stay, and they've ended up leaving anyway. If they want to leave, the sooner the better. The better walk, but the sooner the better, because the longer you wait, the more you prolong the pain. Because if somebody's intention is not to stay in your life, let them fulfill it. The sooner you can find your groove, the sooner you can find your person or your other people that want to be in your life. So don't prolong it. If there's one thing I could take back in my life, was the moment or the times that I held on to people. And I think one particular person, it took me too long, way too long. And if I knew what I know now, I would have just said, sayonara. You don't know what you're losing, and I'm just gonna watch you, and I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna be the best person I can be. Because life is about growth, and really people should be growing with you, sort of like growing pains. And if you're not prepared to grow with you, if they're not prepared to hang tight and ride this wave called life with you, let them be. It's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. Just remember to develop yourself, to grow yourself, to learn, to expand, to forgive, and to let go, and just let them be. And I guess the last question, because I got like 32 seconds, is what's the most important piece of advice you would give to your, that would be one of it, let people go. But also that I am enough. I don't think we say that enough. It doesn't mean I'm perfect, but I am imperfectly enough, just the way I am. And part of that is because, you know, when you grow up in an environment where you don't think you're enough, where you could always do more, right? And that's sort of like, you feel like there's always something you need to be reaching, becoming, being. And so there's that almost like, oh, I'm not there yet. I'm not lovable. I am not enough. I am not good looking enough. I am not skinny or fat enough. You know, there's always bits where you think, my goodness. And then that flows into other areas of your work and life. You might be feeling when you go at work that you're not enough at work, you're not doing your best, you could have done better, you could have spoken at this point, you should have added that slide, you should have said this at that point, you know. And then you come home and it's almost like, oh yeah, I'm not a good parent, I'm not a good enough parent, a good enough partner, a good enough daughter, a good enough sister. There's always all of that. But I think at the end of the day, one thing I'm really grateful for is that I look at myself and I think, you know what? I did the best I could with what I know. And I know 100% that my intentions were in the right place. And if they weren't, help me, because I'm willing to learn and grow. And that's it. You know, you cannot, and of course, you know, I said the other bit around, you know, wishing to let go people sooner, to let people go sooner. That would have been for me one of the things that I wish I knew. Don't hold on to people. Don't hold on to people. If they're meant to be in your life, they'll come back. The reason why they're going is that they're finding it stifling. For some reason, you're not working. So let them go so you can both grow. And if they're right for you, they will be back. And if you want them back, then you have that option to take them back. Otherwise, let people go and remember that you are enough. I am enough. I hope that's been helpful. I will probably answer a bit more of those questions next month. So if you've got any questions, do let me know. Otherwise, have a really amazing rest of the day. I know it looks bright out there, but it is actually 20 minutes to 9. So time for me to hit the shower and hit the sack. But have an amazing day, whatever you do, amazing night, and I will catch up with you very soon. Thank you for hanging tight with me. If you haven't already, do subscribe. It means the world to me. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.